We were hesitant at first to move forward with a performance contract, primarily due to dealing with past contractors and other consultants. Performance contracts were new to us with regard to a design-build type theme. We haven't done that before, but since then we've melded and we're willing to try that. At first they wanted to look at the entire city of Monroe. We're a metropolitan authority, so we service multiple jurisdictions, and once we were able to at least, we had needs at the wastewater facility and in our system, so they were willing to allow us to try that. Our city council would move forward with Johnson Controls on that end of the project. The advantages that the performance contract provided to us were wrapping up several scheduled capital improvement program type projects into one. Also wrapping up the design all in one, as well as having one accountable party for building it. On top of that, we were able to measure and incorporate the funding package with it, which was a QECB bond, a Qualified Energy Conservation Bond, low interest bond, with that to fund it. So it's a cheap way to borrow money, as well as the performance component, which is the measurement and verification process that will provide a sustainable operation moving forward with our rate model. Mainly just operational surprises. So some of the facility improvement measures, I call them FIMs, we had a few surprises once the product was built and installed. Some of the resultant effect, I guess, one of the FIMs was sludge dewatering. When they installed the system, it was producing odors to the point where it was unsafe for employees to go in. So we worked with Johnson Controls, and they provided a solution to correct that. And since then there's been no issue. So there's been a few of those type of situations, as well as coordination with shutdown and operations that we've had to work through. But it's been pleasant overall. Some of the obstacles that overcoming it were the multiple jurisdictions with approving and moving forward with the project. Historically, we've spent about $40 million in the last 8 years to make improvements to our wastewater system, and this was another project on top of that. The problem was we didn't have the rate structure developed to be able to take on that additional cost for the ratepayers. So we had to look at other alternative means to fund this, and the performance contract provided that. There's accountability with the measurement verification to make it a self-sustaining project. So that was one of the requirements. And so that message, as well as the improvements, had to be approved by all the jurisdictions, and take a roadshow to go all the jurisdictions to get approvals before we could move forward with it. So that was some of the big obstacles to get moving through this project and building it into our master agreement that we have with all these jurisdictions. Bundling the projects, I touched on this a little bit earlier, was primarily the capital improvements. We had 14 capital improvement program projects that were outlined. A couple of them we've done studies on to look at what's the best alternative. Johnson Controls was able to take those, build those into their process, utilize the consultant that actually we were working with to utilize them for evaluating other spin-offs from those studies, as well as build on all these other capital improvements. And as mentioned earlier, bundling them all into one project, and it was about a $10.4 million project. The savings and the funding package was able to not affect our rate structure to cause additional cost to the ratepayers in our system. Means quite a bit, obviously. We're very honored to have that consideration and be a recipient of that award. As far as being awardee for Johnson Controls as their top project for the year and being selected, I don't know all the projects they do, but I'm very honored to be, I guess, filtered out to be the top and be the selected awardee, and being shown as the most cost-effective project for them for that year is certainly an honor for our community.